என்னடா யோசிக்கிற? There is nothing to think so much மச்சான். தைரியமா போ. ட்ரஸ்டபிள்ரா. 3 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி என்ன பார்த்துருக்கல, இப்போ நான் பார்க்குறல்ல. How confident I am because I have taken a right decision. நான் கொடுத்த அட்ரஸ் போய் விசிட் பண்ணு. You will have a personal care from them.
எல்லா பேஷண்ட்ஸுக்கும் பர்சனல் கேர் தராங்க. 30 years of proven medical records. All eye care treatment under one roof. அதான் ஆர்கே ஐ சென்டரோட ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி.
My dear children of God, it's my pleasure to be with you all once again for this episode, How to Lead a Meaningful Life for Our Lord. For the past few weeks I have been dealing on the subject, Wife is a Gift of God. This is the third part I am going to discuss on how God intervened in my life in getting me a good partner. But before that, several alliances had come and stopped in the last minute, which was good for me. But at that time, I didn't know that, how it had happened and how God can intervene in our life for the best of our life is what I am going to share. It may seem difficult at that time, but ultimately great blessings God may keep it for us, but we have to wait patiently. For the other episodes of this program, you can watch in www.divine2.asia website or in YouTube Narendranath. I have been uploading all my earlier episodes into these two areas, and anyone who wanted to see the previous episodes can always go and view there. Last week I was sharing on how God intervened in my life and stopped getting married to a graduate in home science the last minute through my mother's interference, and how the assistant project manager who wanted to give his daughter to me decided against that after meeting my parents, thought my mother was sort of a fanatic. So he didn't further go about it and told me that he doesn't want to pursue it further, and announced it in a tea party the next day, and all my colleagues were thinking that he is going to officially announce about giving his daughter to me. But on the contrary, he told that he had found an alliance for his daughter and mentioned his name, not mine, and went about it, and all my friends were looking at me with sympathy, and I also felt bad for having lost an opportunity to get married to my boss's daughter. But what God was keeping in store at that time, I didn't realize. Of course, 2 more disappointments had to happen. I am going to share that. And finally, I got the alliance what I wanted, and what I am today, it is because of God's intervening in shutting the doors, wrong doors, and opening the right door at the appropriate time. As in Ecclesiastes 3rd chapter, he said, for everything there is a time. So in his time, he will do everything beautiful. That is what we are supposed to learn. I learnt it. Okay, once when this alliance got dropped, for some time I was wondering what was happening. And as I told you, I had a ambition to get married to a doctor, and there was no chance of getting married to a doctor at that township where even the nearest town was some 15 kilometers away, and we all used to go to the headquarters to get treated. But luckily there was a medical unit being opened at our own township to cater to the township people, and there are rumors that a lady doctor is going to be recruited. So the moment I came to know about it, I went to the number 1 project manager and told him, in case if I get married to a lady doctor, will there be any possibility of her getting a job in this place? He started laughing at me, but he knew how disappointed I was and what all failures I had faced earlier. So he said he can't assure that because it's a government job, but nevertheless chances are there. Once a colleague's wife is a doctor, chances are there they may consider, but you are naming the child even before it is born. Get married, let us see. That's what he said. So when I went to Chennai, I told my parents, see, you are not able to look for a good bride for me because of your interreligious marriage, because my father was a Telugu person from Andhra and a Hindu, and my mother was a Malayali Christian from Kerala. And I was born at Cochin but brought up at Tamil Nadu, and because of this mixed religion and mixed caste, getting a bride was a challenge. So I suggested my dad that we advertise in the daily matrimonial column. Now it is all common sort of advertising in the matrimonial column, but my talking about late 70s, it was all a taboo. My father said only orphans will advertise in the paper, and no child with parents will advertise, and it's an insult that I suggest that to him, and he is not going to advertise. He will keep looking only through his friends and relatives. But somehow I persuaded him to advertise. In those days, unlike today, you can give a post box, and all the responses what they get, they will collect it and send you to the post box. And from there you can screen it, and whatever you like it, you can correspond. Anonymity will be kept. So I inserted usual typical for an engineer, my height, 4-figure salary. It was a big thing in those days. 4-figure salary means above 1,000. Intercaste marriage, intercaste parents, all those things. Whatever you wanted to communicate, I want educated bride, preferably medico, whatever I wanted, I put it, and gave my father's address for correspondence and went to my workplace. Father got lot of responses and sent them to me in turn, and most of them were not appealing, all not educated, or picture photos were not that good, and they were not beautiful, or whatever it is. Only one stood out, almost like ours. So I felt fascinated by that, because my father was a Hindu, mother was a Christian, and I was brought up in a Christian faith. Another parents were like that. Father was a Hindu, Nair, and mother was a Malayali Catholic Christian. Both were Carolites, of course, and they had a daughter who was brought up in a Christian faith, just like me, and she was a doctor and studied at St. John's College at Bangalore, and working at somewhere in Kerala. And when I said that there could be a possibility of getting a job at my own place, they said, fine, it looks great. So they all came down to Chennai from Kerala, and I came down to Chennai from Andhra, and with my parents I went and saw the bride or the girl and her parents, and they were well educated. Father was a retired chief engineer and mother was a professor. Girl had done her MBBS, and her two younger twin brothers have done engineering at IIT and were pursuing MBA. Sophisticated, nice family. Everything was nice, and she was also homely and good looking, very docile. So things are all looking fine, and they were also happy about me being in a government job, having done BTech and things like that, secure job, and girl ability to get a job at my own workplace. All these things were fitting fine. So almost the meeting at Perambur where they were staying was going through smoothly, but in the last minute, girl's father told my father that I wanted to tell you something which you have to consider seriously. We were not demanding any dowry giveaway and all, it's all beyond us. So he was telling, not on all those areas. He said, look here, my wife is an asthmatic. I knew that and I loved her and married her. And none of my children were asthmatic to start with, but my daughter developed asthma after she joined medicine at Bangalore, and she's asthmatic now. Now and then she gets asthmatic attack. I must tell this. As for me, I knew my wife was asthmatic, so knowingly I married, but I don't want your son to do that. Let them correspond for at least 6 months and then take a decision whether to get married or not, because I don't want to push my daughter into marriage when she is not healthy. That came as a shock to me. I thought everything was fine, but this came as a sort of a hindrance. I didn't know what asthma was. None of my relatives had asthma. So 6 months correspondence seemed to be a good way out, so that we could share how bad it is or whatever it is, and then take a call. So officially both the parents side they have agreed for this letter correspondence. She was at Kerala working somewhere and I was at Andhra working somewhere, and for next 6 months we were corresponding. And she said she's sick and she's asthmatic and didn't want to get married, but yet it would be nice if she gets married, but she didn't want to be a burden to anybody. So she wanted me to ponder all those things and then take a final call, not in a hurry. So this is what was going on for 6 months. I thought, okay, this is except for this negative, all other things looks very positive, like similar sort of inter-religious marriage there also. Father Hindu, Nayar, and mother Catholic Christian, and it's almost same, like, and whatever I dreamt, qualified alliances that come, and she can get a job and I can get well settled in the township. All those things was weighing positive, and negative was this asthma. I didn't know about it much. Well, my father was happy that educated family we are getting an alliance. My mother was not. She was from a medical field. She said, she persuaded me not to go about with this marriage. She said, you don't know about asthma, it will, it's heredity, and children can get asthma. See, like how her mother had asthma, she is getting asthma, your children can get asthma. So finally, I said yes, and we all felt I should go to Trivandrum, where her parents were staying, and she was working very close to Trivandrum. I went to Trivandrum to finalize the final things, so that we could get married at Chennai after a month. So I went there, stayed at their house. Girl came to that house that evening. I was given a room in the first floor, and we all had a dinner that night, and everything was fine. Next day morning, I came down to have a cup of coffee, and I should return for Chennai. But there was a lot of crying in the room, and when I inquired, father came and said she had a massive asthmatic attack that night, and she decided not to get married. She wanted to become a nun. So she didn't even wanted to see me. So he said she had taken a decision not to get married at all, be a burden to anybody. She wanted to become a nun. She didn't want to come and face me, so she communicated through her father, and he said, I can leave, this marriage is off. So as I was returning, I was feeling very bad, but at that time, I didn't know what was happening. We'll continue in our next episode. Thank you.
Appointment வாங்கிட்டல?
வாங்கிட்டேன்க்கா.
Hey, why are you getting nervous? Last month பிரியா குட்டியோட அங்க தான் விசிட் பண்ணேனா. எக்கனாமிக்கல்டா. இன்சூரன்ஸ் கூட claim பண்ணிக்கலாம். Premature babiesல இருந்து old age people வரைக்கும் விசிட் பண்ற ஒரு இடம்.
எல்லா பேஷண்ட்ஸுக்கும் பர்சனல் கேர் தராங்க. 30 years of proven medical records. ஆர்கே ஐ சென்டர் டி நகரில் இருக்கிறதுனால accessible to all places.
Youngsters, you guys must take the right decision at the right time with the right people.